So, Alicia, did mom make us wait 30 minutes after eating before we could get back in the pool?
Of course she did.
Because otherwise, we would get a cramp, right? And then we wouldn't be able to swim.
Correct.
Was that true?
No, it is not true.
So, what you're telling me is that we spent a significant portion of our childhood sitting miserable on the side of the pool for 30 minutes after every snack and meal for absolutely no reason?
Yes, that's correct.
I would like all of that time back.
Unfortunately, that is not something I can help you with. But I can tell you that this is far from the only summer safety rule generations of parents have really confidently passed down that isn't actually supported by evidence.
Ooh, so we're going to upset some grandparents today.
Probably.
Excellent.
Welcome back to the Rolin Forward podcast.
I'm Dr. Stephanie Rolin, a psychiatrist.
And I'm Dr. Alicia Rolin. I'm a pediatrician.
And we do this podcast as a way of tackling health misinformation and making sure that parents and families have the evidence that they need to make the decisions that's best for their family.
This summer, we're doing our summer school series, Lessons from the Pediatric Emergency Department, where we discuss some of the most common preventable injuries we see every summer.
And today, we're doing a fun twist. Summer school myth busters. We're going to take some of the things we've all heard from our parents and grandparents about swimming, sunscreen, food, backyard adventures, and ask one simple question. Is that actually true? So let's get started.
Okay, Stephanie. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to give you some of the summer rules, warnings, and random facts that we've all heard growing up. And your job is to tell me true, false, or somewhere in between.
Am I being graded?
Not yet.
I don't like the yet.
Ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Number 1, you have to wait 30 minutes after eating before you can swim.
We just covered this. False.
Correct. There's no evidence that swimming right after eating increases your risk of drowning. The theory behind this was that digestion would divert blood away from your arms and legs, and you get a terrible cramp and somehow be unable to swim.
That is not how the body works, though.
That is not actually how the body works. You might feel a little uncomfortable exercising immediately after a huge meal, but you don't need to set a 30-minute timer after your child eats a sandwich before letting them back in the pool.
So this feels like justice for our childhood.
Justice. You do not have to watch all the other children swim. Okay. Next one. You can still get a sunburn on a cloudy day.
True.
That is true. Clouds don't block all UV radiation. Ultraviolet rays can still reach your skin when it's cloudy, hazy, or even relatively cool outside.
Which just feels deeply unfair.
The sun does not care whether you can see it. And I think this is why people get caught off guard. You go to the beach on an overcast day, it doesn't feel particularly hot, and you assume that you don't need the same sun protection. But temperature and UV exposure are not the same thing.
So, cloudy beach day, Belgium, knock iced, I'm looking at you. Still need to wear sunscreen.
That's correct. Speaking of the sun, getting a base tan at the beginning of the summer protects you from getting sunburn later.
I'm going with false.
That is false. The American Academy of Dermatology calls the idea that a base tan prevents sunburn is a, quote, absolute myth. In fact, a tan is actually evidence that your skin has been damaged by ultraviolet radiation. Whatever protection you get from that base tan is minimal, and it's absolutely not a substitute for sunscreen, protective clothing, or, hanging out in the shade.
So there's no such thing as a healthy base tan, which is all of a sudden significantly less glamorous when you describe it as sun damage.
The glow is from UV damage.
To your DNA. Okay, let's keep going.
Keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Mosquitoes really do like some people better than others.
True. And I know this because they like you more than they like me.
That is true. That is true.
I just have noticed that. We go on vacation together and you're miserable and I'm fine.
I know.
It's so true.
I know. There really are individual differences in how attractive we are to mosquitoes. They use a whole combination of signals to find us, including the carbon dioxide we breathe, our body heat, and odors produced by our skin. So if you're sitting outside with someone like me and you get 10 bites when they get home and they have none, you might not actually be imagining it.
So the person who says to you, mosquitoes just love me,
might actually be right.
So you were right.
I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference can be dramatic. In one study, the most attractive person was more than 100 times more attractive to mosquitoes than the least attractive person. So science says you might be generally a mosquito magnet.
What about the I have sweet blood?
That's the myth. They're not choosing you because your blood tastes sweeter.
I don't care why they don't love me as much as they love you. It's perfect.
You invite me on all.
Every outdoor adventure,
vacation.
and then I stand right next to you.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one I have for you.
Okay.
This is based on when I used to live in Australia.
Okay.
Okay? Someone gets stung by a jellyfish.
Okay.
So you should pee on that sting.
Oh, I know this one. That is incorrect. It is on my board exam prep.
Yeah. That's so funny that that's on exam prep.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that Friends episode lied to us.
I'm going to say, for the most part, television, not a really reliable source of medical advice.
And as you were learning for your boards, urine is not a recommended treatment for a jellyfish sting. And treatment for a jellyfish sting can actually vary depending on the type of jellyfish. So this isn't one where I would want people memorizing one universal kitchen remedy solution.
But we can confidently say you do not need to pee on your friend.
You do not need to pee on your friend, which is excellent news for everyone.
I'm ready for the next one.
Okay, I'm ready for the next one.
I'm ready for the next one.
I'm ready. It's my turn. You tell me.
True or false? You can get hypothermia in the middle of the summer.
I'm going to say that this is true.
This is true, and the biggest summer culprit is cold water.
Cold water. It's so cold.
So cold. Cold water can pull heat away from your body very quickly. So even when the air outside feels warm, prolonged exposure to cold water can lower your body temperature dangerously.
So we're talking lakes, rivers, oceans.
Exactly, especially colder natural bodies of water. And that's part of what makes it surprising. People associate hypothermia with snowstorms and freezing temperature. But you don't need snow on the ground to become hypothermic.
So summer school has officially managed to cover both overheating and hyperthermia. Check, check.
We're nothing if not thorough.
All right, so here's a weird one that I've seen on Facebook.
Okay.
You can end up with a burn-like skin reaction from drinking a margarita on the beach.
I'm sorry, what?
It's true.
I think I'm going to need an explanation.
There is a real condition called phytophotodermatitis. Certain plants contain chemicals that when they get onto your skin and are exposed to UV light, particularly UVA, they can trigger a phototoxic skin reaction. The classic example here is a lime. So you're out in the sun, you're squeezing a lime into your margarita on the beach. The lime juice gets onto your hands. Then you're out in the sun, you get exposed to UV, particularly UVA, and then you get redness, blisters, and some pretty dramatic change in skin pigmentation exactly where the lime juice touched you.
So from the limes in the sunshine.
Yes, sometimes people even call it margarita burn. And it isn't just lime. Other plants can cause similar reactions, but limes are well known for this.
I'm just going to say this sounds completely made up.
Which is exactly why I wanted to include it in this episode.
Importantly, it's not an allergy to lime.
It is not. It is a chemical reaction involving compounds in limes plus UV light.
Okay, so far, this has been my favorite fact.
All right, you got one for me?
True or false? Salt water cleans wounds, right? In the emergency department, we're always using sodium chloride. So swimming in an ocean is good for your cut.
That sounds like a terrible idea. I'm going to say no.
It is a terrible idea. Sterile saline and the Atlantic Ocean are not the same thing.
Not at all.
Natural bodies of water contain microorganisms, and exposing an open wound to ocean or brackish water can cause infection. One organism the CDC specifically warns about is Vibrio, which lives naturally in coastal water and can have serious wound infections.
So, salt water is healing isn't a reason to take a fresh wound swimming.
Correct. The ocean is many things. Sterile is not one of them. Many animals have to poop in the water.
All right, let's keep going.
Sugar makes children hyper.
True.
False.
I object.
I knew that you would. So control studies have repeatedly failed to show that sugar itself causes the classic sugar rush that parents describe.
But I have been to a toddler's birthday party and I have seen this happen.
You have anecdotes. But is it really the sugar? So imagine that you're 6, you're at a birthday party, your friends are there, there's music, there's balloons, someone has a bouncy house, and you've been handed a cake.
So you're saying the cake isn't the problem?
It's just that this is a highly stimulating environment filled with many excited 6-year-olds that just happen to also have cake. There's actually research showing an expectation effect. Parents who were told that their children had been given sugar rated them as more hyperactive, even when their children had received a placebo.
So perhaps the sugar rush is happening to the parents.
Basically. That also doesn't mean that unlimited added sugar is healthy. There are plenty of nutritional reasons to limit it. But the evidence doesn't support the classic idea that one cupcake transforms your child into a tornado.
Okay, so now this one. We heard this one a lot. Going outside with wet hair will make you sick.
As swimmers growing up, I think my grandmother told me this every day.
Every day, all the time.
And it is false.
It is false because the common cold and many other respiratory infections are caused by viruses. Wet hair doesn't magically cause a virus to be present.
It causes your hair to be wet. And sometimes it freezes.
Yeah. I mean, it might be a bad idea to go outside with wet hair because you might be cold, uncomfortable, and annoyed about it, but you don't become sick because your hair was wet.
Moving on.
Ready?
As someone who is studying for boards, true or false? A snake with a triangular head is venomous.
I mean, if I see any snake, I'm not going to be like looking at the shape of its head. I'm going to be going the other direction. So I have no idea. Snake is bad.
That actually is a pretty good answer. So it's false. If you see a snake with a triangular head, you can't necessarily assume that it's venomous, or if it doesn't have a triangular head, you can't assume that it's not venomous. There are characteristics that experts use to identify particular snake species, but triangular head is not a reliable rule. Some harmless snakes can flatten their head when they feel threatened, and then they look triangular.
Plus, like, are you a snake expert? What is triangular? It just sounds like bad idea. But Disney lies too. Disney will make it seem like snakes that are venomous have different pupils, right? I've heard that.
That's also not a reliable universal rule. And more importantly, if you're close enough to an unidentified snake to examine its pupils, you have made some questionable decisions.
Yeah, this is one where I'm going to say give that snake space. Do not touch it. Do not get closer and go home. Go to your home.
Exactly. If you're in the middle of a hiking trail, give the snake some space. Don't handle them. Don't get closer because you're trying to figure out whether it's dangerous. Assume all of them are dangerous.
But what if you do get bit? Should you cut the bite and then suck out the venom?
No, don't do that. That is false. Don't cut the wound. Don't try to suck out the venom. And don't use one of those commercial snake bite suction devices expecting to pull the venom back out of your body.
What?
Once venom has been injected into the tissues, you're not going to solve the problem by removing.
This sounds like another movie treatment that has lied to us.
Exactly. A bite from a snake that could be venomous is a medical emergency. The important thing is getting away from the snake and getting appropriate emergency medical care, not trying to extract the venom yourself.
And I'm assuming that you don't want parents to capture the snake and bring it with them to the hospital for you to look at.
Please do not bring me the snake. Please do not bring me the snake. If you can safely take a photograph from a distance, that might be useful, but do not approach, capture, or kill the snake for identification. And if you're looking for a great story about why you should not bring venomous snakes anywhere, there's an absolutely wild one from here in DC in 1983.
I'm ready.
A 16-year-old stole 2 gaboon vipers from the National Zoo, put them in a plastic garbage bag, slung it over his shoulder, and got on a city bus.
I'm sorry. He got on a city bus?
He got on the city bus with 2 gaboon vipers in a garbage bag. And then one of them bit him.
No.
He ended up critically ill at the children's hospital, and they actually had to scramble to get enough antivenom sent in from zoos all across the country. And here's the part that I learned from colleagues who were actually working at the hospital at the time. They remember the entire bus just vroom, pulling up to the emergency department at the hospital.
The entire bus went to the hospital?
The entire bus, because he screamed, "I've been bitten by a venomous snake." And then the bus detoured, and they all went to the hospital.
Oh, that's so funny.
I haven't been able to find that detail in old news coverage, but that's the hospital's oral history. The teenager survived, but I think the lesson is clear. If a snake bites you, you come to the hospital, but the snake should not.
Please do not bring a snake to my emergency department feels like a really reasonable place to end today's lesson.
Except we're not quite done.
What?
Because this is our last official summer school lesson before we go back to school. And before you can finish summer school,
No.
you have to pass the final exam.
I knew there was a catch. I thought you said I was going to be graded.
I lied. I'm going to give you a statement from something we've covered in summer school this year, and you will tell me true or false. Ready?
No.
Perfect. Question 1. Starting from last week, recent history. If someone is drowning, they'll always yell for help or wave their arms.
False.
Correct. Drowning can be quick and quiet, which is why active supervision around the water is so important.
1 for 1. Woo!
Question 2. Chlorine kills all the germs in a swimming pool.
Did we talk about this?
We did talk about this.
Did we?
We talked about this in the episode about having vomiting and diarrhea all summer long.
Oh, I remember. So no, chlorine does not kill all germs in the swimming pool, which is why you should not get in the pool if you've had recent vomiting or diarrhea.
Correct. Some germs, especially Cryptosporidium, can survive for days, even in properly chlorinated water.
I'm crushing this 2 for 2, and I only needed a small hint.
Question 3. Poison ivy spreads when you scratch the rash. Scratch, 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 scratch.
False. It's that you're touching the resin, the plant's oil that might be on you, and you're spreading it by touching it.
Correct. The rash itself isn't contagious. It's the plant's oil that causes the reaction.
I think everyone should know that I have been paying attention.
Okay. Let's see. Question 4.
I'm ready.
If your child is wearing a life jacket, you probably don't need to watch them as closely.
Absolutely not again. False.
Correct. Life jackets are only one layer of drowning prevention, and they never replace adult supervision. Similarly, adult supervision does not replace the need for a life jacket. Okay. Question 5. A lawnmower can pick up a rock or other nearby objects in the grass and launch it fast enough to seriously injure someone standing nearby.
True.
Correct. And that's why the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends keeping young children out of the yard entirely while someone is mowing, not just telling them to watch from the other side.
And no children on the riding mower.
Look at you, bonus points.
I want that reflected in my final grade.
We will see. Final question. After an entire season of the Rolin Forward Summer School, the safest thing you could do is keep your child indoors until September.
True.
Stephanie!
I'm kidding. It's false.
Very false. The entire point of this series has never been that summer is dangerous or that kids shouldn't take risks. Kids should swim, they should ride bikes, they should hike and play outside and go to camp and get dirty. Our job as adults isn't to eliminate every possible risk. It's to understand that risks can cause serious harms and use the evidence we have to make these activities safer.
So, did I pass?
You passed.
With honors?
Let's not get carried away.
But I'll take it.
Rolling forward, Dr. Sister Science Facts.
Thank you for spending your summer with us here at the Rolling Forward podcast.
If you've enjoyed summer school, make sure you follow or subscribe wherever you listen. And if you have a minute, leave us a 5-star review. It really helps other listeners find the show.
Share the podcast with your friends, your family, your group chat, or another parent who has spent their childhood waiting 30 minutes to get back into the pool and is ready to break that generational trauma.
Generational trauma.
And as always, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email with your questions, your feedback, your own health myth you want us to fact check, or any topics you'd like us to cover in a future episode. Our email address is Rolin, ROLIN, _show@gmail.com. Next week, summer vacation is officially over because we are heading back to school.
New backpacks, new teachers, new germs.
So many germs. So get ready.
And we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Rolling forward, Dr. Sister Science Facts.
I'll say goodnight this song. Thank you. Chicken banana, chicken banana, pollo banana, pollo banana, pollo banana, pollo banana, pollo banana, 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 banana.